Hello everyone, a very warm good evening to one and all present over here. So I welcome you all in this wonderful session of Ace IELTS, where I'm back with another evaluation to help you how you can get the desired band score effortlessly. Okay, so come on, be quick and let me know that you guys are here and excited for the session. So come on, let me know. As kindly excuse me because I was a bit late. I am a bit late, so kindly excuse me for the same. कुछ इशू आ गया था तो ठीक है, बट अब आ जाओ जल्दी से, ठीक है. सो ओके 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 ओके. हेलो मैम, गुड इवनिंग. वेरी गुड इवनिंग कीर्ति. वेरी गुड इवनिंग शारदा. Good evening, Lucky. Good evening, ma'am. You're 5 minutes late today. I know, Sayesh. I am 5 minutes late and I've already apologized for that. So please, I'm so sorry I got late 5 minutes. Okay? आप कहाँ चले गए थे? मैं कहीं नहीं गई थी, मैं यही हूँ. Not going anywhere. Okay? So, yes. Very good evening, Anjali. Very good evening, Anurag. Glad you guys are here. Very good evening, Sumit. Okay, is there anyone left? Good evening करते करते पूरा टाइम निकल जाएगा मेरा तो. Okay, nice, amazing. So yes, let's get started. Let's talk about the topics that I'll be covering and let's get back again to that, very same thing. Again, I'll be evaluating the responses and please let me know that you guys are understanding. And also, jokes apart, even after the session gets end and if you're already looking up to the recording session, please let me know if there's any feedback, any amendment that I need to do in my session and also any improvement that I can come up with. Okay, so it's totally your take. Please provide us the feedback so that we can improve on our performances. Okay, yes. So yes, let's get started. So here are the topics that I'll be covering today. Just allow me a minute. What's wrong with this? इसको क्या हो गया? Seriously. Sorry. Okay. Ma'am, let Ganpati ji come to your class. Okay, I don't know. Ma'am, please start today's class with biggest question: how to encounter anxiety and pressure of the examination. Okay. So coming up with this kind of a question on a special request by Sayash that how to encounter anxiety and pressure of the examination. Okay. So one thing I would like to tell you over here, like irrespective of what kind of examination you are preparing for, what kind of examination you are coming up with, always remember having a sense of anxiety and nervousness is a normal human tendency. It's nothing like you shouldn't have it. Okay, or it's nothing like कि अच्छी बात नहीं है या होना ही नहीं चाहिए. So it's not like that. It's a normal human tendency. It will be there no matter how hard you try to ignore it, how hard you try to avoid it. The only thing that you can do is to tell your brain, is to tell your brain that you just need that 1 minute of courage in order to overcome this situation. Okay, so when I say that 1 minute of courage, always remember this courage will help you in order to overcome any obstacle and hindrance that's coming your way at the time of examination. Okay, so the fact is, you just need to make yourself understand that if you're gonna be courageous at this particular point of time, you're gonna be proud of yourself in future. But if at this point of time you try to be in your comfort zone, trying not to answer certain question, trying to be nervous, trying to find your comfort zone, then trust me, you're going to have regret for the rest of your life. That if I could have got that 1 minute of courage, I would have, my band score would have something else, or my result would have been something else, right? So this is what I would like to tell you. And in order to encounter that anxiety and that pressure of examinations, don't make a hype of it. It's a normal examination. You guys have been dealing with a lot more problems, like, bigger than this, enormous problem than this. Getting it? So this examination is just a mere examination. Like it doesn't need to, it doesn't have to affect you that much. It's like questions you already know, pattern you already know, structure you already know what is going to come. It's just that the exact question you don't know, right? You are aware of the pattern, you're aware of the structure, aware of the way that the percentage is being allocated to you. Everything you are very well aware of. What you are not aware of is the exact question that you are going to encounter. So it is over and over again how you are prepared with that. And one thing I would like to tell you over here is, like, from day one, start preparing. Give your 100%. Because if you will not give your 100%, eventually you're going to feel like, अरे मैंने तो कुछ पढ़ा नहीं है, I haven't prepared anything, and I don't know what will happen. क्या होगा? That is something that's not in your control. Say how you are going to perform, how better you can perform at the time of examination. Okay, so ज़्यादा lecture हो गया, अब इससे ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगी. Let me know if I have answered your query. ठीक है? And yes, ma'am, I can speak one question. Okay, so yes, you can question me, whatever questions there in your mind. Very good evening, Rahul. Welcome to this wonderful session. Okay. So yes, answered. Fair enough. Thank you so much. Now, listen to me carefully. Now, evaluation question, response, area of improvement, and topic specific vocab. Now, here I'll be telling you how that, okay, so yesterday I have somehow dealt with, part 2 of speaking, where I told you that you need to plan up your response. Now, part 1 is basically something that you will not get enough time to plan up. Okay, so whatever question you're going to be dealing, it's going to be entirely how you can come up with a sudden response or a spontaneity in your response, right? Now, let's have a quick look at the question. Do you have a healthy diet? Now, this is a normal question that you are usually going to encounter in speaking task 1. So, if you are not having an idea how you have to cater with speaking task 1, speaking task 1 is speaking task 1 is nothing that I've already told you. It's going to take 1 minute of yours. Okay. So, I remember I got a question that how do we get to know that how the time has been allocated in speaking task. Okay, so basically the fact is whenever you're going to encounter speaking task, it's like if I say that 5 minutes is being allocated to speaking task 1, it means that 1 minute you're going to allocate to one type of question, another minute you're going to allocate to another type of question. Okay, when I say 5 minutes will be allocated to speaking 1, it means that 5 different kind of question is going to be asked you. Okay, so it's like examiner needs to you how flexible you are, how creative you are in your sense of responses, and be very well aware of the fact that if you are going to memorize your responses, then definitely you're not going to be anywhere, because eventually what happens is, like, when you are already coming up with a memorized responses, your creativity is not being taken into consideration at that particular point of time. What an examiner wants is, like, for example, if I am an examiner, I want you to come up with your idea. I want you to come up with your, sense of understanding or your sense of opinion, how you have experienced. And it is even not about the content. I have already told you, content is not the matter of fact. What actually matters is the sense of presentation. Okay, how you're presenting your responses. Okay, how you're portraying it in front of the examiner. is whatever you are saying is clear to him or not? Okay, so now the question is, do you have a healthy diet? Now you don't have to talk about anything irrelevant. The only thing that is concerned over here is your response to the question. Whether you have actually understood the question, are you actually coming up with the response what a question is asking you, or is there something out of the box that you are dealing with? Like yesterday one, it was fairly out of the box. I told you na. Okay, so equality of content is also important at the same time. When I say equality of content, I mean the level of question is being asked to you, the number of question is being asked to you. You should be providing a good amount of equal content in the entire answer, right? So you have to be a bit careful on that part. Getting it? Now, so equality of content, I have told you, do you have a healthy diet? You just need to tell them that do you have a healthy diet or not. Ma'am, what is the eligibility criteria of this exam? So, okay. So, if I talk about eligibility criteria of IELTS exam, it's like you need to be 18 and older. Okay. So, anyone who's willing to go for academics outside India, or anyone who's willing to go for work, or anyone who's willing to go for permanent residence, okay, in any country. So they can appear in this examination. And even if you don't want to go anywhere, if you just want to improve your English, even for that also you can appear in this examination, because this examination is totally based on English. It's just that it comes with a structure to you. Okay, you just got to follow the structure and there you go. Fine, I hope I've answered that. Okay, now let's have a quick look at what the answer is being presented by the candidate. Fine. Here are the transcript. Make sure you listen to it properly.
Question: do you have a healthy diet? Yes, I believe I have fairly a healthy diet. I make it a point to eat variety of fruits and vegetables every day, which provides essential vitamins and minerals to my body. And I also use it to eat a high calorie foods like grains, meat, fish, eggs, etc., which is very indispensable thing to our body. And I used to avoid unprocessed food and sugary drinks, which can be harmful to our body in a long run. And I used to drink a plenty of water to make myself hydrated. I used to eat chocolates and desserts occasionally, and I conclude that I have a fairly healthy diet in my daily life.
Okay, I hope you guys have heard it. Okay, now you might have noticed that this candidate is having a little bit of like South Indian accent sort of. Okay, the dialect you call it, or accent, whatever you can call it. So no bans will be deducted for this. If someone is having their native dialect in them, if someone is having their native accent, for example, people from a very north side of India, or people from very like you can say west side of India. So basically these things, ma'am, how is the sentence starting in the third line? Okay, I'll be coming up over there as well, but let me just talk about the accent as of now. Okay, so the accent was, I know that was South Indian, but yes. So bands will not be deducted for this, but band will be deducted for the unclear pronunciation that I have also seen. Sorry, I have also heard over here. Okay, so that unclear pronunciation is something that we need to be very clear of. Whatever you are saying, it doesn't matter how long. I'm not saying that speak for very long, elaborate your answer. There is a difference between elaboration, extension, and exaggeration, right? So you need to understand where you need to elaborate, where you need to extend, and where you need to exaggerate your responses. Okay, so it is very important, like when you elaborate, you just talk about the details a lot. Okay, so the fact is, whenever you're going to elaborate your response, I'm not asking you to speak for too long, but whatever you are delivering, make sure whatever you are delivering, it has to be clear, so that whatever you have said could be, marked on a certain parameters. You already know the parameters that we deal with on a daily basis. I tell you all the parameters that we deal with, right? So you need to be, you just need to be good at that kind of content that you have already delivered, or that you will be delivering in the upcoming 1 to 2 minutes, or whatever the time is being stipulated for that particular question. Okay, so make sure you be clear on the pronunciation. And because let's suppose you're not clear, like once or twice you're having this problem, you might end up, getting stammered, or, you're not able to speak properly. So 1 to 2 times you're correcting yourself, that's totally acceptable. But multiple times you're correcting yourself, it will come under repetition, because eventually some or the other way, you are taking that 1 to 2 seconds or 3 seconds again and again to correct yourself, or to, and when it comes to correcting yourself, you're repeating the same thing again. So there your contribution of creativity is not coming into action, right? So you need to make sure that you, even if you, evaluate yourself at the time of speaking, make sure you don't make mistake. Now, the moment you have started speaking and the moment you realize you made a mistake, don't get stick to that particular question. Getting it? I know there are a lot of candidates out here at the time of speaking and they realize that they made a mistake, and they are going to get stick to that, and they'll be like either embarrassed or underconfident, or they'll have their anxiety level will increase, nervousness level will increase. That's totally fine. You are a human being, you're not a robot that needs to be perfect. Getting it? So even if you made up a mistake, that's totally fine, leave it. Now make up your mind in certain manner that you don't have to repeat the mistake again. So think about the future, because whatever you have already done, you have been marked on that. Nothing can be changed over there, right? So be very particular on that. Now let's talk about this. Yes.
Question: do you have a healthy diet? Yes.
Now, yes. First of all, I would like to say the starting and the conclusion, and I conclude. I must say this is very good. The way the candidate had started, yes, I believe, by actually coming up with the response. It's not that straight away skipping to the detail and the description of what I am into, healthy diet or not. So, it's like yes is actually answering the question. Do you have a healthy diet? Yes, I do. Simple. Then start up with the elaboration of your answer. Now, I believe I have fairly. He said fairly. I have fairly healthy diet. I make it a point to eat variety of fruits and vegetables every day, which provides essential vitamins, whatever you want to say, and minerals to my body. ठीक है. And I also used to eat high calorie foods like grains, meat, fish, eggs, etc. Okay, which is very indispensable thing to our body. Okay, and I used to avoid unprocessed food and sugary drinks, which can be harmful to our body in a long run. Okay. And I used here to drink plenty of water to make myself hydrated. I used to eat chocolates and desserts occasionally, and I conclude that I have a fairly healthy diet in my daily life. Okay. Now, in this kind of response, no doubt the response is very short, very concise, and exactly mentioning and catering with the demands of the question. That is something I understood. But there are a lot of grammatical mistakes, I must say. There are a lot of mistakes that can actually hamper the band score, which are not, see, on a certain level, examiner tries to ignore your mistakes if you have been coming up good with the responses. Always remember, the examiner will try to avoid it. I have already told you when I was telling you. He has done grammatical mistakes, repetitiveness. Yes, he has repeated things. He has done a grammatical mistakes. Ma'am, how did the boy use? What did he actually? How did the boy used what? What did he actually? Okay. So I was telling you, kindly elaborate on the question so that I'll be able to understand. Now, I was telling you that, yes, the examiner will try to avoid. Now it is there in the band score as well. It's there in the band descripting as well. Okay, so it's like ki whenever you are making a grammatical mistakes are not that important until and unless it is not impeding the understanding of the statement. Okay, grammatical mistakes too much. Oh, thank you so much, Sumit. Yes, there are grammatical mistakes too much. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is, अगर आपके responses अच्छे जा रहे हैं since starting, then definitely examiner will also not pay attention to the errors that you are making up. Instead, he'll focus more on your creative things and your spontaneity that you are coming up with. Okay, so basically, yes, I believe I have fairly healthy diet. That's okay. Okay, there is no use of connector that I found. Okay, so cohesive devices are missing, that I can tell you. Cohesive devices are missing. Okay, what else is missing? Now, variety of fruits and vegetables every day which provide essential vitamins and minerals to my body. Fair enough. Here I actually like the word he used, my and I again and again, because this is the question was entirely dedicated to the candidate. Okay. Now, and I also used to it. Now, used to is not the exact word that can be used. Okay. Used to is used to talk about the past activity that I used to do it. Okay. Now, high calorie foods is not a proper word. So food, it's something that is giving an unclear idea. I told you clarity. The more clear word or the more exact word you're going to use, that's going to be an icing on the cake at that particular point of time. Like grains, meat, fish, eggs, etc. Now, before etc., you need to use a conjunction in order to divide the examples with whatever you are going to do. So it's really very important to use conjunctions. Now, which is very indispensable thing to our body. Our body is a generalized term which shouldn't be used again, and I used to avoid unprocessed food and sugary drinks. Okay, sugary drinks is not a correct way of saying sugary drinks. It should be sugary drinks. Sugary is a word that is there to define a particular food or a particular dessert or a particular kind of cuisine that actually accumulates a lot of sugar in it, which is actually जो बहुत ज़्यादा मीठा होता है. Okay, sweet is a word that is there to describe a minimal sweet or the required amount of sweet that is put into a dish. But yes, sugary is जब कोई चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा मीठी हो जाती है, that is sugary. Okay, now, so sugary drinks which can be harmful to our body in long run. Now here again it is giving a generalized idea with which it shouldn't. Okay, now, and I used her to drink plenty, and I used to drink very plenty, and instead the candidate could replace it with the basic word I generally drink, or I usually drink a lot of or a plenty of water. Okay, plenty of water to make myself hydrated. It's not make myself hydrated, it's to keep myself hydrated. Okay, and I used to eat. So the word I used is being keep on repeating again and again, which is also something which shouldn't be, which shouldn't happen. Now, and dessert occasionally, and I conclude that I have fairly healthy diet in my daily life. Again, this line has been, repeated. So in this such a small kind of a question, these kind of mistakes will eventually lead to a very lowest band score, honestly speaking. No doubt the content is very short and crisp, but still there are certain things that needs to be improved. This content, the presentation of content is very good. Okay, the the amount of words that are being used, it's very good. Okay, you just need to focus a bit on the certain things. For example, tenses. See, Used to throughout the response is incorrect since you are discussing your current habits. Exactly. Used to refers to past habit and no longer happen. So, ma'am, the one speaking was Indian for. Again, I didn't understand this comment of yours, Sumit. Please elaborate it. Now, for example, I make it a point to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables every day. Correct, but later switch to past tense. Okay. So just as correction, I make it a point to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables every day. I also eat high calorie foods like grain, meat, fish and eggs, which are essential for the body. Essential for the body. Okay? You never understand. No, I usually understand what you try to say, but I'm just asking you to elaborate on your, question. Okay. You missed some articles such as a and the. So I told you very minute things, are very important at the time. So when I say minute thing, for example, using and, but, while, usage of different conjunctions, or you can say usage of different articles. Ma'am, he has to improve some parts like keep sentences shorter and clearer to improve fluency, organize thought logically, using linking words and phrases to connect ideas. Exactly. This is what I have been saying so far. Okay. So, yes, exactly correct. He needs to actually understand the fact that there are certain things, and I'm telling you these are very silly things. If you are going to speak like this, if you are going to miss silly things like this, it will actually hamper your band score. Okay, so if you're not coming up with the major mistakes, if you're good with the fluency and pronunciation and content creation, when I say, creating of an idea, you must focus on the small or the slightest thing. It also, implies to those who are willing to speak English, who are willing to speak fluent English. Now, these are the very minimal thing that, you need to take care at the time of speaking. Okay, now, it make it a point eat variety of food. I make it a point to eat variety of fruits. Okay. Now, so words issues, sugarly should be sugary and unprocessed should be likely processed in this context. I avoid processed food and sugary drinks. Okay. Some sentences are awkward or unclear and I used to drink plenty of water. I also drink plenty of water to stay hydrated. Okay. Or to keep myself hydrated. Now, let's understand the lexical resource, which is the vocabulary. Now, this is the reason I keep on telling the areas improvement with respect to the parameters that are there in your IELTS examination. So that you need to understand what are the parameters, what is the demand of the parameter first, second, how you can cater with that particular parameter in order to come up with your, upgraded or an improvised band score. Now, you demonstrate some range in vocabulary, but could improve it by adding more varied and sophisticated words and avoid repetition. Instead of repeatedly using essential, consider using synonyms like vital, crucial, necessary, key. Ma'am, I have another question. It is related to poem literature. Can I ask? Sure, Sumit, you can ask. You don't need to ask me. You can ask the question. That's totally fine. Okay. So, yes, I was telling you, words like, something that is coming up very important. So, you can use the words like crucial, significant, prominent, paramount, essential, key, vital. So, these are the words that you can use. You can show the examiner that you know how to express this particular thing by using various words. Okay. Now, phrases like the phrase indispensable thing can be rephrased for better clarity, which is crucial for maintaining a balanced diet. Okay. Now, let's understand the next thing, which is fluency and coherence. Some part of the response feel disjoint due to the overuse of and at the start of the sentence. This can be improved by using connectors like in addition, furthermore, or moreover. Okay. And I also used to eat high calorie food could be revised as in addition, I eat high calorie food like grains, meat, fish and eggs. So this is what I told you in the starting of the evaluation, that cohesive devices are missing. This is something that I don't know, I have told you Shad multiple times. Okay. So it's like something, you need to work upon, and if you're not adding cohesive devices, start adding it. the conclusion could be smoother and more coherent. Overall, I believe that I maintain a fairly healthy diet in my daily life. Okay, these are the things. Now, why is that poems always revolve around women and girls? Like she was like moon and all the boys are not worth the wait or something. Okay, I don't know how to answer this question. Sumit, you need to. I don't know, you got offended or what through the poems or something. So it's not actually poems that always revolve around women's and girls. There are a lot of poems meant. It's just that the poems are meant to define the beauty, define the feeling, or give words to the expression or the intention or that love inside, or that thing that you have already read. So it's not like that. Poems are made for men as well, meant for boys as well. Okay, it's just that you need to. Anyways, this is the thing. I don't actually have an idea. I don't know how to explain this to you, but it's not like this. Okay, so don't take it by heart. Read the poem, understand the meaning, improve your English, and move on. Okay, I think this is the better response or solution I can come up with. Fine, I hope I've answered it. Now, let's have a quick 2-minute summary. So again, I would like to tell you that in the initials only, so this answer was quite good, no doubt, but because of the minimal errors. Now, what are those minimal errors? First of all, pronunciation. I'm not asking you to have a good accent. I'm not asking you to, it was written by someone named Shakespeare. Now, pay attention to the session. Okay, so I was saying that pronunciation is a key element in IELTS speaking. It is something that, accent is not the concern, no doubt, no, it doesn't matter what kind of dialect you are having or accent you are having. It's just that what you need to understand, whatever you are speaking, it needs to be clear. That's all. Okay. So, pronunciation needs to be clear. Okay, whatever you are saying, whatever you are presenting. Okay. Take care of the articles, importantly. And so if you actually want yourself to be, lie on the band score of a really good band score that according to me is like 7.5 to 8.5. Okay. If you want them, then please use cohesive devices. They will help you in order to enhance your band score. Getting it? Now, got it? Take a quick screenshot so that you can remember and you can have a quick revision to it whenever you feel like, you are lacking somewhere or what you need to do. So it is going to work as a tips and tricks for you. Okay. So if you want, you can take the screenshot, or else you've got the recorded session for your future reference as well. Okay. And yes, that's all. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for being here. Thank you for your wonderful questions. And I hope I've answered all the questions, and keep on practicing, keep on learning, and let me know if any feedback. Okay. And all the very best to the students who are preparing for their IELTS examination. We'll see you in the next session. Bye-bye. Take care.